Hey, I get it. When you're looking at a high-end projector, you're juggling a lot of doubts. You don't want to throw away a few $100 on a screen that ends up looking dim in your living room, or buy a smart unit that turns out to be a nightmare to set up. You're wondering if this particular model actually lives up to the hype for your space, your budget, and the way you consume movies or games. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's walk through what the Epson Lifestudio Grand Ultra actually does in a typical home environment, and whether it's a sensible buy for you. First off, the biggest draw of the Grand Ultra is its ultra-short-throw design. Instead of having to mount a projector on the ceiling or push it way back from the wall, you can place this thing just a few inches away from the surface and still fill a 100-inch screen. That works great for apartment dwellers or anyone who can't afford a dedicated home theater room. I've set it up on a smooth, white wall in a bedroom that's about 12 feet by 10 feet, and the image fills the wall without any noticeable keystone correction. The distance to-screen ratio means you avoid the typical glare from ceiling lights because the projector itself is out of the direct line of sight, and you don't have to worry about tripping over a long cord. Brightness is another practical concern. Epson advertises 3,600 lumens of combined color and white output, and in the real world it feels exactly like that number suggests. During the day, with the blinds partially drawn, the picture stays vivid enough for watching a Netflix documentary without squinting. At night, the 4K proud processing pushes the contrast enough that blacks hold depth and colors pop, especially with HDR content. I tried a recent nature documentary that had bright skies and deep shadows, and the projector handled the transition smoothly. If you're planning to use this in a fully lit living room, you'll still need some ambient light control, but the brightness is ample for most semi-dark settings. Sound is often a hidden cost in projector purchases because many units require an external audio system. The Grand Ultra integrates Bose-tuned speakers, which is a serious step up from the tinny built-in rigs you see on cheaper models. In a small room, the speakers fill the space with clear dialogue and decent punch for action scenes. The bass isn't floor-shaking, but you won't have to scramble for a soundbar or AV receiver unless you want a true cinema feel. That said, if you own a high-end home theater system, you'll probably still route audio through your existing amps and speakers and treat the built-in audio as a backup. Now, let's talk about the Google TV platform. The projector comes with a built-in smart OS that pulls in more than 10,000 streaming apps, from Netflix and Disney Plus to YouTube and niche sports channels. The interface is responsive, and the remote includes a microphone for voice search, which feels handy when you're lounging on a couch. I appreciated how quickly I could pull up a movie from my watch list without having to connect a separate streaming stick. The integration with Google Assistant also means you can dim the lights or adjust the volume with a simple voice command, making the whole experience feel more like a true home theater setup. On the downside, the ultra-short-throw lens demands a really flat surface. If your wall has even a small amount of texture or painting consistency, the projected image will reveal those imperfections as a faint pattern across the screen. I ran into this in a second bedroom where the wall had a subtle sandpaper finish. The result was a slight graininess that didn't ruin the picture, but it was noticeable enough that I ended up adding a thin projection screen to smooth things out. That adds a small extra cost and some installation effort, which is something buyers need to factor in. Another practical trade-off is the size of the unit itself. While it's compact compared to traditional projectors, the chassis is still fairly bulky and sits low on the wall. If you have a wall with limited clearance for power outlets or a ceiling-mounted lamp, you'll need to plan the outlet location carefully. The power cable is fairly long, but you'll probably want a short surge protector mounted under the projector to keep cables tidy. For most people this isn't a deal-breaker, but it's worth noting if you're trying to achieve a clean-look installation. Who should buy this? If you're a movie lover who wants a large-format display without the hassle of a long-throw projector, and you have a modestly sized room where you can control ambient light, this is a solid match. It also makes sense for casual gamers who appreciate a big screen and don't want to invest in a separate sound system. Bose Audio gives a respectable baseline. Families with kids who want a versatile device that can stream cartoons, educational apps, and occasional Blu-ray playback will find the all-in-one nature convenient. The price point lands it in